the Queer Social. My name is Jess. My pronouns are she, her.
My name is Andy. My pronouns are they, them.
Yes.
Yes. We're live.
We are live. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit I'm happy the holiday break is coming up.
Yeah. I am also ready for a break.
Yeah.
I'm very ready for a break.
I'm very ready.
Yeah. The holidays are exciting. There's so many good feelings, but it's also stressful as fuck. And you become a little bit more broke. And a lot more broke. And then... but there is a nice little gap off of work, usually, hopefully, for people. I don't know. Not everyone has a gap, but I have a gap.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. And then...
I'm excited because this is the first year that we get to do Christmas with Milo.
Well, yeah. We did Christmas with Milo last year, but she was like a little baby.
She was only
baked potato who doesn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Doesn't move, doesn't talk, doesn't do anything.
So this year she actually knows how to open presents and do that whole thing. So it's the first year we get to start our traditions with her.
It's the first year we're experiencing Christmas with her.
Yeah.
And she's excited. She loves presents. The girl loves presents.
That might be her love language is gifts.
I think it is. Anytime anyone brings a present, she's like, presents!
It's like Elf when he goes,
Santa! Yeah.
Yeah, it's Milo.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely buck wild. And then we have New Year's resolution. Let me say really quick before we get into resolutions. Maybe this is a hot take. We're going to get into hot takes also. A hot take might be that I don't like New Year's. There's so much pressure on New Year's and New Year's Eve and New Year's resolutions and everything. It's oh, you have to change yourself. You need to go out and party. You need to this. What? It's just another day.
It is a lot. But I think for some people, they look at it as a clean slate. Okay, here's my clean slate. New year, new me. And I get
we can honor the spirituality of transitional phases. Do you know what I mean?
Just say New Year's resolution. We can honor people's New Year's resolutions.
Okay, I get that, but I'm also it's just, I always feel, maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I always feel a lot of pressure.
I think because there's a lot of pressure of what are you doing for New Year's? Are we going out?
Yeah.
Are you going to a party? Whose party are you going to?
Whose party?
Do you have your outfit? Because it has to kind of be a statement thing, a little flashy.
Yeah, glitter.
The good thing is that we typically are on vacation for New Year's, so we don't really have to do too much. Mm-hmm. We just go and sit on the beach and watch fireworks. Typically. Yeah, I like New Year's. I think it's a fun holiday.
Yeah, maybe I'm just, I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah,
you don't have to like it.
Okay.
So go on with your New Year's resolutions. Do you have any? I know that how you feel about them, but do you have goals? I guess we can say for the new year.
Yeah, yes, of course. I think mine would be to prioritize myself. I've talked a lot about that on this podcast. I just need to put my money where my mouth is, I need to practice harder at, I think prioritizing myself, also working on a little bit of autonomy, to just be by myself, because I'm never by myself.
Yeah.
So I think that is I definitely want to make myself more of a priority.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that we're kind of similar with a couple of those things. Maybe you go on a show. Maybe that's your autonomy.
I don't think I need to do all that.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That was a fun last autonomy or autonomous thing that I did.
Yeah, you were just Andy by yourself, no nothing else.
Milo wasn't born yet.
Yeah. And everyone who was meeting you for the first time knew you for you and nothing else. So
exactly.
Yeah, that was cool, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun couple of months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I definitely feel similar to you in finding something that gives you your independence back a little bit.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. I think a big thing for me is to also prioritize my like health again, because I've been off like I've been off the path for quite some time, and I miss my, like, don't get me wrong, I'm still got it, you know, but I miss being able to just have a certain level of athleticism. Yeah. You know, I miss not being able to, like, not wake up and feel my body a little sore. Yeah.
The 30s, babes. Man. The 30s.
It sucks. Yeah. It's like, so I need to eat more protein. So those are like my goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care of my body. Eat more protein.
Fair. Yeah. Jumping back to hot takes. We had a little discussion last night about hot takes, and it was so interesting hearing everyone's situation, because for those of you who don't know, hot takes are like, nothing is right or wrong, but that's the idea, is like you are passionate about something that is controversial to someone else. Yeah. So that, for example,
rocks somebody's judgment of you, like worldview of you.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. It's one of those moments. I'll start. Okay. Mine is that I think, don't kill me now, I think peanut butter sucks. I think it fucking sucks. I hate the way it tastes. It is thick ass in your mouth, and it's just not a vibe.
I will say that kind of was a red flag for me when I met you. I was like, how do you,
way back when?
How do you not like? I've genuinely never met anybody that doesn't like peanut butter.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've met people who are allergic to nuts.
Yeah.
But I've never met somebody who like, and you don't like peanut butter in all forms, whether it's in a like peanut butter and jelly.
Well, no, I will. Even when I was pregnant, I did do peanut butter and jelly. Yes. But when I tell you the how ratios. Thin my peanut butter was, you
jelly's like
couldn't even see thick jelly. Like, God, it looks like a jelly sandwich. Oh my God. And there's a hint of peanut butter in there. Yeah. Just to counterbalance the jelly. But I don't want to taste a glob of peanut butter.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me.
Not in smoothies, nothing. Like,
oh God, no.
Chocolate in peanut butter.
People who dip their apples in peanut butter and there's a giant glob at the end of it, and I'm like, you're gonna put that entire glob in your mouth? Or people who just do it with a spoon. To me, I don't get it.
I'm that person that definitely scoops, because I love crunchy peanut butter. I scoop that with the, oh yeah, it's so good.
No.
Yeah. And like when your mom makes the your mom and your sister, they make those dates with the peanut butter and then chocolate and sea salt.
Yeah, I could obviously do without that ingredient.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, that's my hot take, guys.
Okay.
I have a few more, but I'll leave them for another time. Do you want to share yours?
Yeah, I have two, and I know I'm going to get some shit for this, so I'm like reluctant to share it. Only the people who have ordered food with me know, or like know my food tendencies.
Went out to dinner with you.
Yes. Like so, oh God, I'm scared to say this.
Don't be scared. The test of time was when you said it to me, your wife.
Yeah, in Italian. Okay, so my hot take is that I don't like pasta.
And let me tell you something really quick. If you're in this with me, also if you're Italian, you know this is like a sin. Like, it's actually a sin. Should be against the law. Like, cause for divorce, probably. That was a red flag for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you said you didn't like, I grew up every night we ate pasta. And then when I started dating Andy, and he's like, you just had pasta yesterday, and I was like, and like, this is normal. It's like eating fruit every day for people. It's very normal.
Man. Yeah, I will say I was terrified when I told your mom that.
Well, the thing that I also don't understand is, like, how can you categorize all pastas as, like, I don't like pasta? There's so many different types of pasta out there.
Well, you've taught me over the years. I've
had to introduce a lot of different recipes for you to be like, I could eat this dish.
Yeah, and I will eat it. But if there was a table of options, I would never choose pasta first.
Right. Yeah. Jeez, that is just so wild to me. It really is. No, it's fine. It's fine. That's why it's a hot take. Controversial as fuck.
Well, my other hot take is that I like dry sandwiches.
Yeah, that was always a weird one for me.
Yeah, I don't like
sauce. I'm a sauce girl. Like,
I know you are.
I want all the sauces.
I know.
Like, I want to also like dip something in where you can't see the food anymore.
Like when I go pick up food, Jess is like, make sure they gave me the 3 sides of aioli, ranch.
Yes.
Whatever the situation is.
Any of the dips. That's why my daughter's a dipper. Like, I'm a dipper. It's in the genes. I don't know what it is, but it's very much like, it's a staple for me. And so when you went for a dry sandwich one day, I was like, okay, are you a serial killer? This is fucking insane. Like, people don't do that. Okay.
There's something, there's just something about a dry sandwich. But here's the thing. I'm not saying like it's just because it's a dry sandwich doesn't mean it's dry in my mouth when I'm eating it. Like I like to add like pickles and I like to add like lettuce, and I don't like my bread to be dry. I like my bread to be like soft, like a French bread or like a homemade bread so like that.
But it's still sticking to the roof of your mouth in not a good way. Like whatever. I just think it's a little fucking weird.
You never made me feel like this before. My sandwich situation. Also,
because I honor it, but it doesn't mean that I don't think it's weird.
Speaking of though, we're gonna get sandwiches today because your sister's in town.
Yeah.
And she wants the sandwich place. And this is the place where I get my dry like this place makes the best no sauce sandwich.
Yeah, because they make the best bread.
They make the best bread.
I have a story about this particular place as well. If you have a close person to you or you yourself have given birth, you know the importance of the first meal, okay? You are starved for hours, okay? Starved for hours when you are in labor. You cannot eat. Most of the time you cannot drink. You're chewing on ice chips and that's all you get for however long. By the time my labor was an entire day, and by the time I got my first meal, it was 3 a.m, and I had not eaten since 10 or 9 a.m. the previous day.
And it wasn't like you had something good. You had
I had a breakfast burrito because I felt my contractions happening.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, I better get something in because this is like the last thing I'm going to eat. So I ate a breakfast burrito, and then I was like, it's go time. That was 9 a.m. that day. I did not eat until 3 a.m. the following day.
Damn.
Yes. That first meal after you give birth is sacred. And I think I heard this before, but I didn't know the importance of it. Like I really didn't. So I didn't think about the food. You didn't think about the food. It was like the one
thing that I didn't think about on the checklist. Like I had everything else.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And that was the one thing that I
didn't even think about like packing snacks.
I packed snacks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was in space.
I tried to give you a goldfish, but I will say, every time I wanted to eat something, I left the room because I was like, I'm not gonna fucking do that in front of you.
Yeah. You have to respect the
you would have knocked me out with one of those peanut balls that they have between your legs.
Oh my god. Yeah. So anyways, the importance of a meal, and if your wife or whoever is pregnant now, honor the importance of this meal. Do not say I didn't warn you. Pack her favorite fucking meal for when she gives birth.
Or have Postmates.
Or be on it for Postmates delivery. Like when she's crowning, order the food. Have someone fucking press send on that meal delivery and get it right in time. Because I'm telling you, what had happened was I had just popped my daughter out of my vagina and I wanted to eat something so bad because I was starved. And then everything was closed because, again, it was 3 a.m. So my mom, bless her soul, went downstairs to the hospital cafeteria. Let me tell you really quick, nothing good comes out of a hospital cafeteria, okay? Maybe ice cream or like a candy bar, but nothing made by the hospital is gonna be okay. She came up and she offered me a cafeteria sandwich.
A bologna.
I wasn't really thinking. I was just so hungry. And by the way, I was limp. Like my limbs, I couldn't move my limbs. I was exhausted beyond belief that she brought the sandwich to my mouth and I had my eyes closed and I just took a bite. And I just about died because it was the worst sandwich I've ever had in my life. I could tell you right now exactly what it tastes like. I taste it in my, I'm drooling in not a good way. Like, you know when you get
it's
nauseous?
like nauseous salivating?
Salivating is happening right now. It must be a form of PTSD for reals.
Well, yeah, you just went through your body went through a trauma of having a child.
Yes.
Right? And you did it natural.
Yes.
And then the situation afterwards with like stitching and everything, like that whole situation was very traumatic for you.
Yes.
So then the first sense that is awoken.
Yeah. Supposed to be a warm, comforting meal. Something that's like, oh, thank God. Absolutely not. I took one bite and said, I'm good. I don't need any more. I would rather starve. Yes. Than eat more of that sandwich. So don't say I didn't warn you. If you don't know this rule, now you know. Take it to your sister, your aunties, your best friends, your own wife, because Lord.
Whoever the birthing person is, make sure they have a meal after birth.
So we went to sleep. The next morning, obviously, family wants to come meet the baby, and check on mama. And I was like, okay, y'all can come if you bring me a sandwich. Like, that's the stipulation here. So they went to shout out Rubicon Deli.
Oof, Rubicon.
Who saved my taste buds the next morning.
If you live in a place where there's a Rubicon Deli, run, don't walk.
Yes, it is. Get pesto bread.
I am a sandwich connoisseur. And there is no place better than Rubicon Deli.
Yeah.
For they have pesto homemade bread, homemade cookies. They just, everything is proportionate. Like if you have OCD, if you have any situation
beautiful
like
sandwich.
It is perfectly stacked together. It's just,
They walked in with a sandwich and I said, take the baby. Take the baby. Like eyes on the prize. Yeah. I scarfed that sandwich.
The whole thing too. And those sandwiches are big.
I did not fuck around.
No.
Yeah. It was, you're welcome for the story. Spiraled down. I would get so passionate about.
You did an Andy.
Well, because I get really passionate about first meal.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
First meal after birth.
I did not know.
Yes.
Now you know.
Now you know. Now I know for the second baby. I'm going to have that sandwich.
You prepped.
No, babe. I'm going to get fresh.
Yeah. Okay.
Fresh.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyways,
moving on. We have been invited to a few holiday parties. I have a crazy anxiety about going out that is so overwhelming that it's enough to get me to say no. I'm like, actually, I'm going to just rain check. So
That's valid,
I'm going to skip this one.
That's valid.
And if you tell me to do that there's street parking, I will absolutely not be attending.
What do you think the internal reason is for like the anticipation? Like, are you worried about what people think you look like?
No, definitely not. I have grown way past that. It's definitely not that. It is more of like all the steps is what gives me anxiety. It's not one step in particular. It's not like just what I'm wearing. It's like, and also I don't really drink.
Yeah.
I've never really drank.
Neither of us drink, you know?
Yeah.
Not really. Like we'll go out and have a drink here and there, maybe like twice a year.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. I'm not going to lie. Like it's just not something that like I don't really enjoy drinking alcohol. I always feel like shit. I actually don't even think it tastes good. It's very rare that I like hit a cocktail that is actually worthy.
Mocktails though?
Yeah, I can fuck with a mocktail. The second you add the hard alcohol, it fucks the drink.
Can you make it not taste like alcohol?
But then, yeah, exactly. It's just, maybe that's also a hot take. It's like
less alcohol.
The less it tastes like alcohol, the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's just a lot of steps to going out that, and I didn't go to college, so I didn't have my going out days. Like I never wanted to either.
Did you party in high school?
I did, but because all my friends were, not because I wanted to.
Got it.
Like all my friends were going out and they're like, you're coming. And I'm like, fuck me. Like, I don't even want to go. And then you get there and I'm like, I don't talk to half these people. Like, I just feel weird and I don't want to drink.
Yeah.
And I don't want to drink to feel not weird. So then it's like, why am I here?
I got to give you props for that because you didn't succumb really to peer pressure too much.
No, only my first time with alcohol is when I hit the peer pressure.
Smirnoff girl?
Smirnoff girl.
Smirnoff.
That's what they called me. I came home blasted, and my parents were in the hallway, and they just like were laughing at me because it's like the first time your kid gets drunk. It's like an initiation thing where you're like, this is not allowed, and you're in big fucking trouble tomorrow. Yeah. But like right now, it's hilarious. Like, this is funny. And I could not function. And I'm a people pleaser, and also in relation to that, like, cared a lot about what my parents thought of me.
You've always been a good kid.
Still do. So working on it. I've come a long way. But when I came home that night, I was mortified, even blacked out. I don't even remember it, but they were just telling me, like, I just kept saying, like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm such a disappointment. Like, all the things. I don't remember shit, so but it sounds accurate as fuck.
That's
honestly.
really cute, honestly. Like, if I was your parent, like, I don't even know if I could. I think you would be a punishment on yourself enough.
No, yeah, you don't need to do much for me.
Yeah.
I got it in here. I'm killing myself over things.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was the first and only time I've probably given into like peer pressure like that. Just because they handed me a big handle of Smirnoff, and I was like, let's do the damn thing. Yeah. I didn't know how much was too much.
Yeah. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous, yeah.
See, I wasn't a person who fell to peer pressure. I was a ringleader. So people followed me.
You peer pressured people?
No, not necessarily. I was just kind of like, you do it if you want to do it. I don't fucking care. But I'm going to do me.
I could see you just like taking a handle down people's throats.
If they wanted it.
Right.
But I'm not going to. I was never like a person to just like force you to do something. But if I was doing it and you were with me, I'd be like.
Exactly.
You come in, you jump in, what's happening, right? Like, yeah. But then I feel like I got so much of that out of my system in high school. When I went to college, I partied.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, I think you got it out of your system.
Yeah. And then now, since being with you, I literally don't drink. And I think my liver is very happy about that.
I think so too, yeah.
But I do partake in other things. So it's all about balance, right?
Balance, baby. I'm with you. This leads me to the idea that like you have to say yes to people.
Yeah.
And that's something it's been really, really hard for me because I genuinely want to like make people happy.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm like, oh, I don't want them to like think I don't like them or whatever if I say no. So if like somebody asks me to go out and I say no, I instantly am like, they're going to think, I need to over-explain myself. Yeah. I need to, like, make them feel good about why I said no.
What do you always say, though? Like, you're trying to really, like...
people please?
No, like, you're trying to really, like, take in the fact that, like, you want to accept no as a complete sentence to people.
Yes.
Without having to over-explain why you're not going to do something or what's not work or what's best for you. You shouldn't have to explain that to everybody.
Yes, I know. It is a work in progress. But I very much am like the way that you and I have kind of like navigated this is we have a lot of talks about this first because I think a lot of it needs to come from conversation before you practice the action of it. Is like you're talking yourself through the process. I'm going to do this. It's going to be okay. This and this. Now let's practice. Yeah. Like the answer is no. I'm not going. I can't hang out. Sorry. Like it is what it is. And I think I've had a recent experience too, where somebody who like asks to hang out often because maybe they like your energy and they want to be around it and whatever the circumstances are. But if they're asking and you don't reciprocate in the same way, like you don't show up in the same way that they're showing up for you, but maybe it's because like you don't want to.
Yeah. Sometimes it's difficult, especially at the stage we're at and the phase we're at in our life. We want to give our energy priority, Milo.
Yes.
Me and you.
Yes.
Family.
Ourselves.
Close friends.
Yes.
Right? So it's hard after all those different layers to give our energy to something outside of that, right? Because then comes work and then comes things like that. So I think sometimes it's hard to say no to people, to hanging out, and it's nothing personal, but it's just we're very sacred with our time and who we have around us.
Yeah. And I also don't think there's anything wrong with that. In the beginning, I was telling myself there was something wrong because I was like, they've asked a bunch of times. Now you need to say yes.
Well, does it make you feel like, did it like intern? Because when I think about that, I'm like, I wonder if they think that I'm entitled or like better than them or anything like that.
Sure, those thoughts.
Those are intrusive thoughts that I have when it comes to people being like, oh, you don't want to hang out with me. Well, it's not necessarily straight up like that all the time. It's just, hey, I have a lot going on in my life, and who I give my energy to is sacred.
Yeah. It's like, I guess I wish more people would respect, like, it's not that I don't like you as a person, because that's not the case most of the time. But it's that I just don't have the time and energy to give you. Yeah. And I think the two can exist together.
Yeah.
Is like, it's not like you don't have to not like somebody. I could like you, but it doesn't mean I want to hang out all the time.
It's kind of like you want that person to eat, but not at your table.
Yeah, like dig in, okay? But this right here is sacred.
Yes.
So it's such an interesting balance, especially as you become an adult, to like navigate those types of relationships. And again, I always have those intrusive thoughts of being like, oh fuck, they're gonna think I don't like them, they're gonna think I'm above them, they're gonna think all of these things,
when it's not that.
It's just I don't have the time or energy. And also, can't that be enough?
It could be that too. Like, if I don't vibe with you, I'm definitely not gonna give my energy to you.
Yeah.
Like, if I feel like, I mean, look, typically when you hang out with somebody, you know whether that person is going to be a friend for you or not. Like, you know that like you're either rocking with them or you're not. Yeah. Right? So if I don't feel that, I'm not going to go out of my way. Like, I don't have time like that.
And based off of what you just said too, is like, you get that tingly feeling in a platonic way when you meet somebody and you're like, we vibe. Like this is here. This is real. Yeah. I could see you tomorrow and I wouldn't be like, oh fuck, I got to do this. Like I could see you tomorrow and be excited about seeing you tomorrow. Exactly. Like you kind of know off the bat if somebody's your person or not. And then that's how friendships start. Yeah. That's literally how like we have met some of our best friends, is like that initial spark, platonic spark, dude, if you will.
If I don't feel that with you, I'm not the person to just be like, yeah, I'll just go hang out with that person and hang out with him. No. Like, no, don't you want a friendship where it's 100%? I'm not that person that's going to go give half-ass to something. Yeah. I'm just not going to show up.
Yeah, I mean, you have taught me a lot about that in particular, because I'm a person who is always like a yes person in regards to like giving people my relationships. Like I think I had to learn, and it took your help, because you're very much like, no, I'm not doing that actually. And at first I was like, what the fuck? Yes, you are. Like we need to go and do this. Like this is expected of us. And you're like, no, like I'm not. That was one thing you've always put your foot down. I fucking hated in the beginning.
In the beginning, I didn't, though. In the beginning, I did go with you to those things. But then after a while, I was like, look, I am not having a good time. And I understand there's some things that you have to go to be a supportive cast. That's not me. I think I can come across as a dick or just like very like full of themselves in that manner, where I'm not. I'm just, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. And nobody can make me do something I don't want to do.
No, that is so true.
So, and I'm proud of that. Like I stand in that, you know? So hate it or love it. It is what it is.
Yeah. I do respect it. It took me a long time to get here to respect it, because as a partner, I was like, I think you should be coming with me here, you know? And there are some things, like you said, that you do have to compromise on. Like, no, you're actually coming. I need you at this one.
And I feel like I've showed up for those things that you do need me for, you know? Like and I feel like you've showed up for me in a lot of different ways with, you know, things, events, you know, and things that I've had to do. Yeah. So, yeah, it's about balance. But I think that if you don't want to put your energy towards something, then don't do it.
Then don't. Yeah. I think it's should be
and unfollow. Bye.
Oh my God. I realize, so I am not a social media gal in regards to like, I follow people from my junior high and high school that I've just, when Instagram launched and then you follow all these people, I never went back and unfollowed anyone, because like I just don't care to do that. I just don't think I have the energy to do that either. So I don't monitor I don't know who looks at my stories. I don't know who follows me back. I don't know who I don't know any of that. Andy, there was a circumstance where you had told me, you're like, hey, this person unfollowed you. And I was like, are you fucking joking me right now? Because like I wouldn't have noticed if it wasn't for you telling me.
Yeah.
Like I literally would not have noticed.
Well, because I was also like, the person was kind of acting a little shady, or the situation was a little shady, and I was like, I wonder.
Andy went and snooped that shit out.
And I was like, let me see if my intuition is correct about this person.
What's crazy to me is like, I'm nice, y'all. Like, I am a nice girl, okay? I am nice to people because...
Yeah, you're not a mean girl.
No, I have a good heart. I'm nice. And I felt like I was really nice to this person. And I genuinely liked the person. Like, I liked the person. And I was fucking flabbergasted when you told me that they unfollowed me.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me? I wonder what I did. And that makes me just spiral because I'm a spiraler by nature. And I just sat there and was like, what did I do? And I just went over and over and over like, what did I do?
And I'm over here like, fuck that bitch.
Yeah,
fuck her.
because Andy is petty. We know this about Andy. Andy's petty. And Andy was like, fuck that, babe. Like, you were my person in my corner, which I appreciate. But also, I was very much like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even do anything.
But that's
and
the
that's
thing,
the
like,
weird part.
You don't need to do anything.
Weirdo.
Yeah, it is weird.
Weird. Like, we chat in DMs. We
Heavy
talk.
on the
we
weird.
talk.
Bitch,
we comment.
Not bitch.
No.
You chat on the DMs, but you're in her request.
Well, now I'm in the request folder. So it is what it is. I don't care enough, but I think the confusion is like, why?
Yeah.
I think people look at social media also differently, so I can't take offense to it. And I think a portion of it is like, if something happened and you just don't want that in your space anymore,
well,
you don't want to be triggered by somebody.
On
I get
Instagram
that.
and social media too, you can kind of create your own reality.
Yeah, it's your bubble.
Blocking. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't want that in your energy,
I respect it. I do respect it. So that's why I'm like, maybe she was triggered by me. I don't know what I could have done to trigger her, but
because you're a nice girl.
I don't know.
Nice girls win. But
I feel like that is like a big thing for people too, of being like,
what did I do?
What did I do? To anybody, like we've talked about ghosting, right?
Yeah.
Like it happens in dating ghosting, but it also happens platonically.
Yeah.
Like, lesson learned. This is my first platonic ghost. Yeah, dude.
Oh, I love how innocent you are with certain things in life.
I think I just want to see the best in people.
You do. You try to see the best
Once
in
they
a lot
show
of situations.
me something else, I'm like, I don't fuck with that. I do not fuck with that.
You don't really have a cynical bone in your body. You're a realist,
yeah.
but you do try to see the best in a lot of situations.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, let this be a lesson to you. You can get ghosted platonically, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because they're
ain't
not
worth
your people.
energy.
They're
Yeah,
not your
who
people.
cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Anyways, we got a comment on I don't know if it was a comment or a DM from somebody who's like, can you guys touch on like toxicity of a relationship, but staying in the relationship? And I was like, sure, we could do that. Yeah, no problem.
Well,
there's only one thing I have to say about it, really.
What?
If it's not the right relationship for you, like, don't stay.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of circumstances that make things more complicated. If you're with somebody who is not right for you, what are you doing?
I mean, hopefully you have a good support group around you to be like, yo, this ain't it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it comes with a lot of, you need to build your confidence. Because ultimately,
well, you can get complacent.
Yes.
For sure.
Where you're like, maybe this is the best I'll ever
get. Or
get.
if you are comfortable in the lifestyle that you're living with that person, it outweighs the person.
Yeah, that could be true too.
You know?
I think if people are staying with, right, there's a lot of circumstances that can make someone stay and endure something like that. But if you're thinking, oh, this is the best I'll get, or if you're thinking, I don't know who I am without this person, let me remind you, you were your own person before you even met this person.
Correct.
So do not be afraid to find yourself again outside of the relationship.
Because your person is meant to highlight the things that are, they're meant to highlight you. They're meant to be the shiny border around you, but you're already glowing.
Yeah.
Right? So like that person just enhances certain things in your life.
Cute.
Not supposed to be. I was trying really hard for that analogy.
That was really cute.
But yeah, you're still your own person, and then that other person should just kind of seamlessly fit into it, and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's interesting though, because we've both stayed in a relationship that was definitely toxic for a while until we learned that, okay, this isn't the way things are supposed to be.
Yes. I think I stayed in a relationship that was 100% not correct for me, because a lot of it had to do with like feeling bad, and that's my own shit that I have to work on. It's like I stayed way longer than I should. There was so many red flags for me in just nothing against who this person is, but the relationship was not healthy at all. And I was young. I was 16 or something like that. So for me, I didn't know what a healthy relationship felt like.
Yeah.
I knew what it looked like because I have a good example of that being my parents, but I didn't know what it felt like. And so I didn't realize for a long time that I was like, yeah, what am I doing?
Well, it's hard too at your age. Like, I think you were with that person for like 3 or 4 years, starting at 16 until you were 19. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard because we don't have that life experience yet, and we don't have that rationale yet of like how a healthy relationship is. And then also on top of that, it's really unique being in a queer relationship because there's not a lot of examples of a healthy queer relationship. And
there's not.
You don't see those different nuances in that relationship as you would with your parents' heteronormative relationship. Yeah.
I think a lot of it being that I didn't want to leave because I felt bad for that person. Like, what is going to happen to that person? Like, if they were not stable and I felt like I was a piece of their stability, it's like when you take that out from under someone's feet, then you can't help but worry about them.
For sure.
Like,
and that's a natural thing to do. I think for me, like, a big part of the toxicity that was in the relationship that I was in was the fact that we were out to certain people, but then very closeted to the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's really confusing. Yeah.
It was really confusing. It was really confusing for me just in general of like, how do we act? How do I navigate this? Like, I didn't know how to do that. And it made me feel less than in a lot of different ways. And I realized that I was putting that person's like beliefs and the way that they wanted to do it above my own mental health in a lot of different aspects.
Yeah, you were compromising a lot of who you were for the person that you were with. Yeah.
And I did that I stayed in that toxicity for like 3 to 4 years, and like other things stemmed from that because it was like an internal thing of like me not being like, yo, I'm not enough for you to come out with. Like, or not even not enough for you to come out with, but just, I don't want to live in the shadows of somebody else.
And you shouldn't have to.
For me, it was like, I didn't want to continue to be held back, but I also love that person. So it was a really, really difficult thing for me to be like, I need to put myself first and not the feelings that I get from this.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Well, it's hard for people to put themselves first.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you're in a relationship, you feel like you are putting the other person first a lot. Like, I think that's a natural thing, is to be like, are you good? I'm good if you're good, you know? And that can overtake and become the whole personality of the relationship, is putting someone else first.
And I think when you're dating somebody who's closeted, when you're like ready to be out and like you're ready to like live authentically, is very difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I said, that situation became so toxic for me that I was like, I was pretty much valuing my worth into that. And
yeah, because you're like, oh, I must not be good enough if she doesn't want to come out with me. I must not be good enough if she doesn't want to introduce her family to me as her partner. I must not, it's like all of these things start to like take over in your head, and you're like,
for sure.
Okay, I'm just not good enough.
That was really hard. Like, that's really hard to, one, go through, but like as a self-esteem thing, and just, yeah. So if you're in a toxic relationship, just evaluate your situation and be like, if you need to put, like, you should always come first.
Yes.
No matter what. You have to take care of yourself. You have to show up for yourself in order to show up for another person in a relationship. Right.
And you're going to say things that they're not going to want to hear. Like, because maybe it's not about leaving the relationship, and it's more about saying, this is what I need from you. Yeah. And if you can't give that to me, then I'm out.
Or if you're not comfortable enough to communicate that,
yes,
then that's not your person.
Yeah. And also you have some self-work to do too.
Yeah.
Because if you're not willing to know yourself enough and know what you want and what you need, and you're not willing to put yourself first and as a priority to say those things, then you definitely have some work to do. Because I will say, my relationships, platonic relationships and intimate relationships, have changed when I found my voice. And I've always had a voice, don't get me wrong. I'll say what I need to say. But my people pleaser in me can sometimes dim the voice on hard things to say. Yeah. So I've learned, like, I'm not going to get what I need out of this relationship if they can't meet me where I need to be met. Yeah. And that's up to them. At least you're saying what you need.
I think, too, it's really, like, you get to this stage in your life where you realize that you have to be able to have tough conversations with all different people, regardless of the relationship, whether that's your partner in life, whether that's your best friend,
your auntie,
your mom,
your cousin,
your dad,
your
whoever,
boss, your coworker.
If you can't have an open and honest conversation with them, then like you have to build that relationship. Yeah. I grew up around a lot of very passiveness. That Midwest feel of like the mom feeling like they just like, I don't know, it's a very passive behavior.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was really difficult for me to navigate, to where I was like, well, how do I actually say what I want to say instead of just sweeping it under the rug?
Yeah, you had to bite your tongue probably a lot growing up.
Well, and not only that, but it was like, am I allowed to say this? Can I say this? How do I communicate it?
Well, it's like no one else is being honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this how we deal with situations? Yeah. Is we just act like nothing just happened and you just move about your day? Like, that was really hard for me to learn, And I think being with you, because you're an over communicator.
That I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to learn a lot being a avoidant, non-communicator to where I am now. And it's funny because I just started doing that in the last 3 years with my relationship with my mom, and my relationship with my mom has grown so much.
Significantly.
Because I'm like, Mom, just say what you got to say to me. Say what you got to say. I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to be respectful about it. But like, this is the way it is. And since then, our relationship is way better.
Good.
So yeah, I think once I learned that you have to be able to have open and real conversations, transparent conversations instead of being passive, my relationship with the people who are closest to me has changed.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm really
different
proud
level.
of you. You've come such a far way because, in the beginning, you didn't want to talk about anything hard. Yeah. I'm very much like, spit it out. Nothing can change if I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. It's not even that I needed to like uncondition myself. I was never taught the correct way to express my feelings, how to communicate my feelings. So that was really hard once you go through life for 20 something years, being like, I was very avoidant, to being like, nope. You're going to face this head on. You're going to say what you got to say. And now I just say shit really blunt.
Oh, yeah. So sometimes I'm like, ooh, back it up. Back it up.
I'm working on that now to where I'm like, okay.
There's a delivery.
There's a tone, right? Yes. I can be respectful, and I am respectful, but I'm just blunt respectful. I just say it as it is. Yeah. But I need to learn how
the balance of delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
that's the next stage.
That's the next stage. Yeah. We're getting there. This can also translate into, we said platonic and intimate relationships, because I think when we talk about it, like it's easier in the platonic way. I've had a lot of friendships where we are our strongest and best selves because of the communication between us. Like I've said some of the hardest things ever to best friends, but moving past that only made us stronger.
Yeah.
Intimately, like when you are telling your partner what you want, what you need, your expectation, where to meet you, it can be a lot harder because there's all these thoughts. By the way, your lives are like intertwined as well when you're dating. So it's not like you can tell your best friend and then you detach from it. Yeah. Like when you're dating somebody and you're honest with them, it can bleed into all of the other aspects.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're telling me something that I know but I don't want to hear, it's not exactly the recipe for sex later that night.
You're going to want to take a beat from me. Yeah, you're going to need a second.
For sure. It's not that I can't receive it because I'm receiving
it. Not like a beat, sorry. I didn't mean like you want me to beat you up.
No.
I don't know.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay,
like
good.
You're just like, give me some space.
Yes.
But it's not even that like I can't receive what you said to me. It's shit. Like you got to take the ego out. And it's really difficult
ego.
I'm practicing that.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult to not be offended when the person that means the most to you or the person that you like, it switched from like not wanting to disappoint my parents growing up to not wanting to disappoint my partner.
Yeah.
It's the same type of heavy, right? So like I never want to disappoint you. And I feel like in the times where I have let you down, like those are like little notches on me and it sucks.
Yeah.
Like it hurts. So I don't ever, because I feel like I can relive those feelings of letting you down. And you
do hold them really tight. Yeah. It's not, I think it's not, unless nothing changes from it or like comes of it after those hard conversations, then it's a notch. Yeah, then you can count them up. But if you're changing after those hard conversations, or not necessarily, well, sometimes changing, but just meeting me where I need to be met.
Yeah.
And that's all somebody could want. So like, yeah, the hard conversations are hard, but they do make you stronger. I know that's such like a cliche saying, but they really do.
They do. Our communication, like I said, it's continuously gets better because yes, we have our day-to-day rapport, but when we do have the difficult things, we already know we know what to expect, right? Yeah. We know like, okay, you might need some space if I say something that you ain't gonna like, and vice versa, right? Like, or hey, okay, let's figure this out right now because I definitely don't want either of us to feel this way. So our communication has been very solid.
Yeah.
But it took a long time.
A
lot of hours and work put into that.
Let me just go sideways real quick in relation to this. If you aren't communicating your needs in general, but let's translate this to sex, your life will change when you communicate with your partner what you need and what you want and what you like. Okay?
I think that's why there's such a huge orgasm gap for heterosexuals versus LGBTQ+.
Yes.
People in the LGBTQ community are having way more orgasms than the people in the heterosexual community.
Yes.
I
think I'm confused though because I agree with that, but I think it's the communication between people. It doesn't matter who you are.
That's why I think there's such a gap, is because a lot of women don't communicate what they need to men, or men don't receive what a woman is trying to tell them. They think with the ego of being like, oh, I know what you want, baby. Like, I know what you got. Like, you see this, like, I can take care of you. And it's like, but do you even know?
No.
Maybe she doesn't want penetration at all.
Yeah.
But that's all you're good at. That's all you know to do.
Because they have this idea that, like, of course it's going to feel good. But that's your ego talking.
That's your ego.
Communicating your needs to the person that you are intimate with will be the biggest game changer for you. I can guarantee you. At first, I had to learn that it's appropriate. Like, you can actually say what you want and what you like and what you don't like. And especially in the moment, like if somebody's doing something that isn't feeling good to you, speak up. Why would you want to sit there? Why would you want to sit there and take it to make them feel good? No, you should be feeling good.
It's mutual
you should be
feel
feeling
goodness.
good. Yes, and there's
Consensual goodness.
Yes, there's plenty of ways to find mutual goodness.
Yes.
Okay, but I want to push you to know that you can, in fact, state what you need and what you want. Whether that's faster, slower, harder, inside, outside, any of the things.
It shouldn't be a guessing game, though.
It shouldn't be a guessing game. Like, also, I think maybe it's me. I don't know.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
No.
There it is.
I cannot with your outbursts. I really can't. Oh my God.
I had zero control.
Zero. It's okay.
Zero control.
We're moving, but it was kind of funny. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like as a partner, I can't help but be in my head. If you're not telling me it feels good, I'm assuming it might be feeling bad. I don't know. Like, I love the communication. I want to be told, like, that's my spot. I love what you're doing. This feels great.
Yeah.
Good job. Any of the things that indicate it's going the right way, because if not, I'm internalizing and thinking, are they liking this?
Could you
Is
imagine?
this good?
Could you imagine hooking up with somebody who is like mute?
What are you talking about?
Like somebody who doesn't tell you anything, just lays there quiet?
No.
What would you do? Would you stop?
I would probably stop. I'd be like, this feels stale. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Yeah, I would not. If you were just fucking mute and there was nothing happening, there's no.
If I was just laying there.
Yeah, I'm not about that. I'll tell you right now, I will be exiting very quick.
Me too. I would have never started.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have known unless you started.
I feel like I would have known.
Okay. So yes, if you don't do that now and you're afraid to start, you can communicate that you're going to start.
Yeah.
Like, instead of just like, if it's been going one way and then you're scared to make the change, tell your partner, I feel empowered to start communicating with you what I want and what I don't want. How do you want that communication to go? Like, how would you want to receive that communication? Because you also want to make sure that you're doing it in a way that they don't feel discouraged or turned off or any of those things. So there's definitely a way to say, instead of like what doesn't feel good, it's like, tell them what does feel good.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to start. That is something that I had to learn, and I am very glad that I did.
Yeah. And plus, communication in the bedroom is sexy.
It is.
Yeah.
I get more turned on hearing that I'm doing a good job. I'm like, yes, I am. Here we go. I'll give you some more of that if you like it. So
I can confirm.
Yeah, there's nothing bad about it. Also, it's just validating. Everyone wants to be validated. Whether you admit it or not, it feels good to feel validated.
It does.
In what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're acting, all the things.
Yeah.
To wrap this up, I saw this question that I started thinking really deeply about, and I was like, I just want to know your answer.
Okay.
I saw this question that said, would you rather erase your worst memory or relive your best one? And I felt like it was such a hard question.
I think that one, that's a really...
I'll go first.
Okay.
There are a few hard memories that in my mind, they'd be nice if they weren't there. But I definitely would not want to erase them because it has shaped me into the person that I am. Like, without going through some of the hardest times, which are then correlated to the worst memories, I would not be half of the person that I am today. Like, I learned so much from those instances that I don't know who I'd be today if I erased them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I would want to relive some of my best memories.
I think that I would agree with you on that. I think that it is a very difficult question, though, because, like, without getting too far into it, of being like a survivor of abuse as a child, even though like that was extremely like horrible, and I have a lot of things that I've had to work through in my adulthood and still do every day, I think I would still lean more towards what you're saying, because the things that happened to me pushed me to get away from my hometown and like spread my wings and go to college and I didn't know this at the time, but I didn't want to be a victim forever.
Yeah.
I wanted to not allow those things to dictate my life. To
define you.
Exactly, to define me. So without consciously knowing that that's what I was doing at that time, I think that I was just like running away from some of that stuff, to now I know that like that pushed me to get out of my situation and try to not have anything like that, you know, as far away from me as possible. Yeah. So yeah, I think that exactly what you were saying, I don't want to say it made me who I am, because
that didn't make you, but it shaped a lot of things it
shaped the decisions that I realized life is about decisions at a young age. I had to grow up at a really young age. So without that, I don't think that I would have had the same scope for ambition or wanting more in life. But yeah, I would definitely relive my best memories, because my shit ain't holding me down, you know?
Like life is about finding more joy.
I don't want to go back to like...
Don't go back to the...
And I don't want to rewind either.
Exactly. You don't need to erase it. Let's not go back.
Yeah.
But let's not erase it.
Because of like butterfly effect, you know? Like, you don't know how my life course would have changed if I could erase that.
Exactly. But finding the joy of moving forward in your life and reflecting on the good times.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Absolutely. I will tell you that reliving that memory would be with you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
Which one?
Well, there's a lot.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. That's all the time that we have for today.
It's such a like NPR sign off. What? That's all the time we have here today.
Oh, okay. Should I do something else?
No. Sorry, I didn't mean to shit on you. But that is all we got today.
Yeah, so. Fuck right off, Andy. Oh my God. You are wild.
Man. If you like our podcast, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, send to a friend, family member. You know the deal. Follow us at 2 Babes 1 Barn and The Queer Social. And
that's it.
Later.